back to Friday Reads, where we help you find your next read. I'm Jill.
And I'm Julie, and this week we have kind of a lighter topic compared to last week. We picked awkwardness, books that have awkwardness in the titles, awkward moments in them. I think we've all been in a situation where it's been awkward, so we thought it would be fun to kind of do some books that feature awkwardness. So I'll turn it over to Jill.
My first one is The Dinner by Herman Koch, because what can be more awkward than dinners sometimes? It's a summer's evening in Amsterdam, and two couples meet at a fashionable restaurant for dinner. Between mouthfuls of food and over polite scrapings of cutlery, the conversation remains a gentle hum of polite discourse. The banality of work, the triviality of the holidays, but behind the empty words, terrible things need to be said. And every forced smile and every new course, the knives are being sharpened. Each couple has a 15-year-old son. The two boys are united by their accountability for a single horrific act, an act that has triggered a police investigation and shattered the comfortable, insulated worlds of their families. As the dinner reaches its culinary climax, the conversation finally touches on their children. As civility and friendship disintegrate, each couple show just how far they are prepared to protect those that they love. Tautly written, incredibly gripping, and told by an unforgettable narrator, The Dinner promises to be a topic of countless dinner party debates. And there's also been like 2 movies made on this, so.
My first pick might just be my favorite book cover of today. This is Cringeworthy, A Theory of Awkwardness by Melissa Dahl, published in 2018. Have you ever said goodbye to someone only to discover that you're both walking in the same direction? Or had your next thought fly out of your brain in the middle of a presentation? I've had that many times. Or accidentally liked an old photo on someone's Instagram or Facebook, thus revealing yourself to be a creepy social media stalker? Melissa Dahl, editor of New York's magazine's Science of Us website, has, after a lifetime of cringing, she became intrigued by awkwardness, a universal but underappreciated emotion. In this book, she explores the oddest, cringiest corners of our world. She chats with strangers on the busy New York City subway, goes on awkward friend dates using a Tinder for Friendship app, takes improv comedy lessons, and even reads aloud from her highly embarrassing middle school diary to a crowd of strangers. After all of that, she realizes awkward moments are opportunities to test yourself. When everyone else is pretending to have it under control, you can be a little braver and grow a little bigger while remaining true to your awkward self. And along the way, you might find that awkward moments unite us in our mutual human ridiculousness. So this sounded like a fun book. Cringeworthy.
Embrace the awkwardness. I like that. My next one is called Everyone in This Room Will Someday Be Dead by Emily R. Austin. Gilda, a 20-something lesbian, cannot stop ruminating about death. Desperate for relief from her panicky mind and alienated from her repressive family, she responds to a flyer for free therapy at a local Catholic church and finds herself being greeted by Father Jeff, who assumes she's there for a job interview. Too embarrassed to correct him, Gilda is abruptly hired to replace the recently deceased receptionist Grace. In between trying to memorize the lines of Catholic Mass, hiding the fact that she has a new girlfriend, and erecting a dirty dish tower of her crumbling apartment, Gilda strikes up an email correspondence with Grace's old friends. She can't bear to ignore the kindly old woman who's been trying to reach her friend through the church inbox, but she also can't bring herself to break the news. Desperate, she begins impersonating Grace via email, and when the police discover suspicious circumstances surrounding Grace's death, Gilda may have to finally reveal the truth of her mortifying existence. So this seemed like the most awkward book ever.
This was not too hard of a topic to find books.
Not at all.
My next pick, this is The Girl Who Never Read Noam Chomsky by Janet Casale, published in 2018. Lita is a girl who knows what she wants and who she is, or at least she thinks she does. When we meet her as a college student in Boston, she's confident, intelligent, independent. She's hopeful that a flirty chat with a cute boy reading a book in a cafe will lead to romance. They have that fleetingly awkward conversation that dwindles into little more than mortifying embarrassment. But the encounter does leave her one positive and ultimately transformative thought. She decides she wants to read Noam Chomsky, so she promptly buys a book. And she never, ever reads it. As the days, years, and decades of the rest of her life unfold, we watch Lita confront what is that she really wants and who it is that she's really meant to be. And I wasn't familiar with Noam Chomsky, So I had to look up to see who that was. He's best known for his influence on linguistics, specifically the development of transformational grammar. He believed that formal grammar was directly responsible for a person's ability to understand and interpret mere utterances.
Oh.
So, the girl who never read Noam Chomsky.
So my next one is called The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. It's high time for Stella Lane to settle down and find a husband, so her mother tells her. But that's not such an easy task when you're on the autistic spectrum. To overcome her lack of dating experience, Stella decides to hire a male escort to teach her how to be a good girlfriend. Meanwhile, Michael uses his good looks and charm to make extra cash on the side. He has a very firm, no repeat customer policy, but he's tempted to bend that rule when Stella approaches him with an unconventional proposal. The more time they spend together, the harder Michael falls for this disarming woman with a beautiful mind, while Stella discovers that love defies logic. And if you like it, there's a second one in the same thing called The Bride Test, which appears to have different characters who are also awkward, trying to find love.
Oh, goodness. And my third pick today is The Misadventures of Awkward Black Girl by Issa Rae, published back in 2015. This is in the best-selling tradition of Sloane Crosley's I Was Told There'd Be Cake, or Mindy Kaling's Is Everyone Hanging Out Without Me? It's a collection of humorous essays and what it's like to be unabashedly awkward in a world that regards introverts as hapless misfits and black as cool. Being an introvert in a world that glorifies cool isn't always easy. But when Issa Rae, the creator of the Shorty Award-winning hit series The Misadventures of Awkward Black Girl, is that introvert, whether she's navigating love, work, friendships, or rapping, it sure is entertaining. Now, in her debut collection of essays, written in her witty and self-deprecating voice, she covers everything from cybersexting in the early days of the internet to deflecting unsolicited comments on weight gain, from navigating the perils of eating out alone and public displays of affection, and learning to accept yourself, natural hair and all. A reflection on her own unique experiences as a cyber pioneer, yet universally appealing, this book is a book no one, awkward or cool, black, white, or other, should miss. So, Misadventures of Awkward Black Girl.
I have checked that out, and I'm going to check it out again and read it this time. Okay, my next one is, this author's kind of popular, Frederick Bachman. He writes a lot of things, and he writes a lot of awkward people. This one is no exception. This is Anxious People. Viewing an apartment normally doesn't turn into life or death situation, but this particular open house becomes just that when a failed bank robber bursts in and takes everyone in the apartment hostage. As the pressure mounts, the 8 strangers begin to slowly opening up to one another and reveal long-hidden truths. First is Zara, a wealthy bank director who has been too busy to care about anyone else until tragedy changed her life. Now she's obsessed with visiting open houses to see how ordinary people live and perhaps to set an old wrong to right. Then there's Roger and Anna, Lena, and Akia, addicted retired couple who are a never-ending hunt for fixer-uppers to hide the fact that they don't know how to fix their own failing marriage. Julia and Ro are a young lesbian couple and soon-to-be parents who are nervous about their chances for a successful life together since they can't agree on anything. And there's Estelle, an 80-year-old woman who has lived long enough to be unimpressed by the masked bank robber waving a gun in her face. And despite the story she tells them all, Estelle really hasn't come to the apartment to view it for her daughter, and her husband really isn't outside parking the car. As police surround the premises and television channels broadcast the hostage situation live, the tension mounts and even deeper secrets are slowly revealed. Before long, the robber must decide which is more terrifying prospect, going out to face the police or staying in the apartment with this group of impossible people.
I enjoyed that one. I read that
really
one.
Cute.
I like his books. My fourth pick is Sky Falling by Mia Mackenzie. This was just published last year. A woman who's used to going solo discovered that there's one relationship she can't run away from in this novel from the Lambda Literary Award-winning author of The Summer We Got Free. In this book, 26 and broke, Sky didn't think twice before selling her eggs and happily pocketing the cash. Now approaching 40, she moves through life entirely and unrepentantly on her own terms, living out of a suitcase and avoiding all manners of serious relationships. Her personal life might be a mess, and no one would be surprised if she died alone in a hotel room. Sounds really sad, but at least she's free to do as she pleases. But then, a 12-year-old girl shows up during one of Sky's brief visits to her hometown of Philadelphia, and she tells Sky that she's her egg. Sky's life is thrown into sharp relief, and she decides that it might be time to actually try to have a meaningful relationship with another human being. Spoiler alert, it's not easy. Things get even more complicated when Sky realizes that the woman she tried and failed to pick up the other day is the girl's aunt, and now it's really awkward. All the while, her brother is trying to get in touch, her problematic mother is being bewilderingly kind, and the West Philly pool halls and hoagie shops of her youth have been replaced by hipster cafes. Now, what is she going to do with that? So, told in a fresh, lively voice, this novel is pretty clever, deeply moving portrait of a woman and the relationship she thought she could live without. But can she? So,
that's a
gotta
cute
read
cover
the book,
too.
But yep, Sky Falling.
This one is called Accidental Beauty Queen. This is the large print version, so it has a weird cover. By Terry Wilson. Charlotte Gorman loves her job as an elementary school librarian and is content to experience life through the pages of her books, which couldn't be more opposite of her identical twin sister Ginny. An Instagram famous beauty queen has been chasing down a crown since she was old enough to say world peace, and she's not giving up until she wins Miss American Treasure. But when Ginny has a face-altering allergic reaction the night before competition, Charlotte suddenly finds herself in a switcheroo with the twins haven't successfully pulled off in decades. Woefully unprepared for the glittery world of hair extensions, false eyelashes, and push-up bras, Charlotte realizes, after walking a mile in her twins' sky-high stilettos, there might be more to the pageant circuit than just a sparkly crown. So, Accidental Beauty Queen.
And my last pick is just kind of a silly pick that I picked today. This is Introvert Doodles, an illustrated look at introvert life in an extrovert world by Maureen Wilson, published back in 2016. If you can read the cover, it says, "Hi, I'm Jill. Hi, I'm Tim. Hi, I'm awkward." So whoever said there's strength in numbers lied. Meet Marzie, which is the nickname of our author. She's an introvert who often finds herself in awkward situations. She used to feel strange about her introverted tendencies, but not anymore. Now she knows that there are tons of introverts out there just like her. Those who enjoy peace and quiet, need time alone to recharge their battery, or who prefer staying in with their pet and a good book as opposed to awkward social interactions. Just like this author, these introverts can often be found in libraries, at home watching Netflix, brainstorming excuses to miss your next party, or doodling cute cartoons. Being an introvert in an extrovert world isn't always easy, but it certainly is an adventure. In this book, the author follows through all her most uncomfortable, charming, honest, and hilarious moments that everyone, whether you're an introvert, an extrovert, or you're somewhere in between, can relate to. So I just thought this one was kind of a cute book, and she's got some cute cartoons in here, so kind of fits. So
I love the coming up with excuses to get out of your next party.
I know. I think we can all relate to a lot of these things.
Well, we hope that you found something to read, and if not, you can come in and take a look at what we have, and we won't make it weird.
We won't make it awkward for you when you come in. We thank you for watching. Like, comment, share. We always like to hear from you. And until then, next time, thanks for watching.
Bye.